But I was not used to him, I was not close to him. I've been watching him over the media. But due to the quality of his insight, I was wondering how we could get closer to him. But fortunately, it's not unfortunately, fortunately, I received a message from Dr. Muna that he was coming to present a conversation with the students of Honor Bilingual High School because of the esteem he has for this institution. So, dear students, environment movement. What I did not know, I thought he was a foreigner until I was talking to my children that a foreigner was coming to visit us. This is a Cameroonian from the northwest region of this nation.
Let's be silent, and it's a very great honor for me to be here at Honor Bilingual High School. And please, can we just be silent so that we can have a conversation? I'm very honored to be here today. And as Mr. Kum have said, I'm a Cameroonian, half Cameroonian, and I come from the northwestern part of the country, from a small village called Jinquin in Kong. I was born in 1978, 26th of October, and I went to a primary school called Jinquin. But what I learned as I was growing up, and I believe all of you here come from families, it doesn't matter which family you come from. What is more important are the values in which we are taught in our own family. But one of the values that I believe and understand that each and every one of us have been taught is the value of respect, is the value of humility, is the value of dedication, is the value of understanding that our backgrounds do not necessarily determine where we'll end up, but what determines where we'll end up is our ability to be focused, disciplined, and dedicated in whatever endeavor that we undertook. I went to GBH in Bamenda, Government Bilingual High School, and I later on went to ENS and trained as a physics teacher. But the process, throughout all these processes, what was always in my mind was that I would not end up just where I think I can end, but I should aim to always go further. And so I started applying for scholarships. And I finally got a scholarship to study at the University of Nottingham in England, a master's degree in environmental policy. And after I went to Listen, this is quite very, very important. I know where I'm heading to. So when I finished my master's degree, I got another scholarship to do a PhD, a doctorate in environmental change and policy. And so I finished the doctorate degree. I was applying for job time. There are the issues of the time, and one of the biggest issues of the time is environmental change. I'm sure you've seen flooding, rainfall, and in the northern part of the country, we are seeing droughts as we see floods. Yesterday it rained, and I'm sure that some communities in Yaounde area are flooded. I'm sure that as you walk around, you see plastic. You see plastic that is being displaced, and when it rains, that garbage and plastic clog out the wrong waterways, and sometimes we have flooding that displaces people. We saw that in other parts of the country. And those environmental challenges are also contributing to loss of life. Our mothers in communities across the country, over 70% of Cameroonians depend on charcoal. And that charcoal is killing our brothers and sisters across the country. Up to 7,000 Cameroonians die each and every year because of indoor pollution. And then there is climate change. The changes in weather, as we see drought, we see floods. Sometimes the temperatures are high, sometimes the temperatures are low. That is called climate change, and that is an issue that is affecting Africa. And then our biodiversity, we see it being lost. Our trees fell. So the reason I'm talking about these are called the triple planetary crisis. But you are in high school, and one of the most important things that you need to understand is that no one is born great. No one is born great. So the issues of our time, the first thing we need to understand is that no one is born great. Is born great. But those who become great do so through three things: dedication, humility, and discipline. And therefore, as you are sitting here today, you've been invested on by your families. Your parents and your guidance have invested a lot in you in terms of paying your school fees, in terms of your teachers have invested in you, in terms of guiding you and giving you the right knowledge to be able to study. But one of the most important things is that 90% of success is not dependent only on your teachers or your parents, it's dependent on you as an individual. Because no matter what you are taught, if you do not take in what you are taught and internalize it and work hard and read, you will not be able to excel. And therefore 90% of progress is determined by the individual himself. And that takes me to the second point, which is, as I've mentioned, in Cameroon today, if you look at Yaounde, 78% of waste that is being disposed in Yaounde is biodegradable. What that means is the plastic waste we see can be converted to pavement tires. And even if you are studying English language, English literature, chemistry, physics, biology, those subjects are not there to constrain you not to think of environmental solutions that you can be able to carry out in the community, to be able to address the environmental challenges we face. So if you live here today and you have access to the internet, can you search how to turn plastic waste into pavement tires? You start to learn something that you can be able to develop a skill in it and become not just an environmentalist but start to make money. It is the same thing like understanding that anytime you have access to the internet, and that takes me to this point, internet. The internet today is not just an opportunity. When I finished high school in 2000, and I went to ENS Bamboli in 2000 and finished in 2003, the advent of the internet in the country had not reached the level at which it is today. And so I believe that each and every one of you know how to browse the internet. And when you get to the internet, check out how do you convert waste into fuel briquettes to replace charcoal. And that is an opportunity you'll be tapping into that is worth $304 million US in Cameroon, because 70% of households depend on charcoal. And if you can be able to produce something that replaces charcoal, you will be in business. And that is called environmental opportunities and environmental solutions that can change lives and create business opportunities. But the most important aspect is that regardless of these solutions, there are what I call propositions of success that each and every one of us needs to endure. And the first one is you must retool your skills. Let me tell you something. No matter how brilliant you are, no matter whether you come from a poor family or from a rich family, no matter whether you have the best teachers in the world, which you do have, and Ono High School is known for that in the country, what you need is to start thinking, what can I, out of what I'm studying, or whether when I get to the university, I do a different subject, what can I, in addition to that, start to learn now, so that tomorrow I can stand out not only in the subject matter that I'm studying, not only in going to the university and getting a degree or a master's and a PhD, but that you can stand out and say this is an extra skill that you have. And that is called skills retooling. Skills retooling. Skills retooling is the most important aspect because it is because that is what distinguishes you in the world stage. Africa has 1.4 billion citizens as we speak today. Cameroon has a population between 26 to 27 million. And the entire world has a population of 8.4 billion as we speak today. That then means that as you are finishing school, getting to university and getting your master's and maybe a PhD if you choose to do, you will not only be doing that alone, you will be competing with people from different countries and from different parts of the world. And what that means is you must be exceptionally excellent. You must be talented. You must be skillful. And you must have the passion to always do what is asked of you, but add an extra layer. And that takes me from passion. That takes me to an important aspect again, which is an aspect that is not always discussed in the African continent. And even in the country. I grew up in Cameroon, and I'm a very proud Cameroonian, as I've said. And that discussion, I would like to use an example which I will demonstrate by using two students who volunteer, a lady and a gentleman. Come out here, let me demonstrate that part. Put your hand up, please. Feel free. Yes, please come. A lady? Yes, please come. What is your name? Nana. Nana, right? What's your name? What's your name? Bunny Pearl. Pearl like the flowers and the okay. Miss Mutakumi can help you with a glass of water. I will demonstrate something. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Stand here. Just stand, face this side. So I'll give you, it's a very simple instruction that I'll give you, and it's a very simple exercise. And you guys should watch carefully because after this I'll ask questions. So, Nana, and this is Bunny and Nana. So the instruction is that I want, don't mind the pronunciation at the moment, just relax. So the instruction is very simple. I want the two of you to walk up to here, and then walk back. And I want you to observe the two of them. And after that, I'm going to ask you guys questions. So if I say 1, 2, 3, you walk up here as if you're coming to pick a prize and reach here and then go back. And I don't want to see this water here drop on the floor. If it drops on the floor, then you are disqualified. Yes. So things are falling apart, but the center can still hold, right? Are we safe? Excellent. But follow the instruction. Okay, 1, 2, 3, please. Walk up here. As if you are coming to take a prize and you're not supposed to be determined by the speed of any of you. Go back, let's see who will take the prize. Come on again. Yes. No, you must use your two hands. Yes. Walk. Okay, stop there. What did you guys observe? Put your hand up and then tell me what you observed. Yes. What did you observe? Excellent. You said that. You said
Again, loud.
excellent. That's Bunny, right? As if no Bunny and Bunny. Nana and Bunny. Okay. What did you observe? Yes, please. What did you observe? This is fun, right? Yeah. Enjoy it, but be silent. Right. That was a good observation. Oh, you are right. Yes. Which other? I want to hear from the. This is the big boys club here, right? Yeah. Well, so I want to hear from you guys. Yes, please. What did you observe?
That guy was faster than her.
Yes, she was faster than her. That's correct. Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Yes, please. I want to hear from the. I used to sit behind the class. Yes. What did you observe? Okay, good. So I think that the observation, yes, please. Be loud. And that yes.
The glass of water was the main secret for moving faster.
Correct, that's very correct. All of you are right. So the observation, please. Hey, Baba, you guys are speaking too much. Just relax. Enjoy the show, but so what you guys notice is that she could not walk faster, and she was trying to make sure that the water doesn't spill over to the floor. Right? Then Nana had freedom to walk around as he wanted, and even if he wanted to run, he would run because he had nothing. Are we together on that at that level? What this demonstrates is that your life You can choose to do anything with your life, but you should hold your life as Nana was holding the glass of water. You fell, right? Yes, please, sorry. Nana walked as if he had nothing to protect. And he had nothing to protect. And Pearl had the glass of water to protect, so she could not run, and even if she increased her speed, it couldn't have been in the sense like that of Nana. And what this brings us to self-discipline. You must take yourself and hold it as if it is an egg. Not everything you are asked to do must you do. Not everything you are told to do should you do. Because at the end of the day, only you can be able to protect yourself. And therefore, self-discipline is what makes you triumph. That you can be asked that let's go and dance. You said, no, I have an exam tomorrow. I will not be able to go. But you can be asked that no, there is a football match that I will be able to go and watch. But you have exams the next day and you said no. So saying no is not a crime. And no is actually the ingredient that instills the discipline in you. So don't be afraid to say no. Thank you very much, and you can get back to your seat. Hold a glass of water. Don't hold it only one hand. Hold a glass of water only one hand. So please listen very carefully. Just listen very carefully. This is a very important experiment that we have to. Please, let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. First of all, when you held in water, is it heavy? Just hold it a little bit. Hold it a little bit. So is it heavy or not? It's becoming heavier. Just hold it a little bit. Just hold it a little bit. How is it now? Is it becoming heavier? You can put it down. Let me explain. Thank you very much again so far. You have done very well. You can go and have a seat. You have done very well. What was demonstrated here is an aspect that, please listen. What was just demonstrated here is an aspect that is never usually discussed either in school most of the time or even in our family settings. Which is that we worry so much about what we cannot control and we fool ourselves under that, and it doesn't add any value to us. Holding a glass of water for 1 minute, she didn't feel the weight. When she held it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, she started to feel the weight. Which means that when we keep things in ourselves that adds no value, they weigh down on us. And therefore, do not worry about what we cannot control, and do not worry about failure. Sometimes when we fail, we get worried about because we are thinking that society needs to define how we look and how we move forward. Don't worry about what you cannot control, but learn from the experiences of what you can be able to control, because the experience you learned was that it's becoming heavier, you need to put down the glass. And when you put the glass, then she became lighter, and she could now focus on other things that can be able to add value to her. So do not overburden yourself. Don't overburden yourself. Yeah? Don't overburden yourself with what you cannot control. That you get out of school and you say you don't have a job, then you start to worry you don't have a job. Start to think what you can be able to do different, because it is in perseverance that excellence is born. It is in adversity when we suffer. I grew up holding boots, and I went to school without shoes. I used to wear torn trousers, but that did not deter me from looking into the future and understanding that education was my currency, that I can be able to use it to excel. And so I've come here today to tell you guys and show you guys this practical example, and to tell you that your dreams are all valid and your future is all bright. Clap for yourself. And that takes me to the second, you play football here. Oh, love football. Yeah, which team you support? Barcelona. Which team you support? Real Madrid. Which team you support? Barcelona. You are and Manchester United.
Athletics of peace in Cameroon.
Yeah, where? In Yaounde, yeah? Okay, okay. Good, that's fine. So, how many, okay. At every particular moment of play, especially in football, how many players all together are on the pitch? 22. Excellent. The 22 players, listen, don't get the logic out of what I'm trying to explain here. I want to take you to understand something. And if you do this, I'm using very simple examples for you to understand concepts as well as reality. And this is helpful to you guys. So, during the African Nations Cup, how many of you were able to get into the stadium? Excellent. So, yeah, good. How many people were inside the stadium? 60,000. Okay. Yeah, let's say 60,000. Well, yeah, that's not a problem. These are not absolute figures. So, when the players were playing, or when Cameroon played Burkina Faso, or Cameroon played Egypt. Yeah. So, when the players who are playing, what were the fans? The 60,000 crowded stadium. What were they saying? Were they shouting or were they dancing or what were they doing? Okay, excellent. That's fine. So what did the players do? Did the players stop to listen to what they were saying or they were just playing the football? Excellent. And that takes me. And when they won, regardless of which team won, what happened? When the team won, and the team that took the trophy during the African Nations Cup in Cameroon, which team was it? Excellent. What happened when the players won? Were they happy or were they jubilating? Yeah, this is good. So the point I am talking about here is you must be like football players or any game sport. You must be focused and you need to understand that leadership is personal responsibility. And the first person to lead is yourself. And that when you get out to the crowd, you get out there are people who are going to throw things at you, insults. Just like players who are playing are insulted. There are people who are going to disregard you. People are going to say a lot of things, but you should never ever lose focus on what you are doing. Stay focused like football players. Stay focused and do what is right. And at the end of the day, you are going to win. And when you win, it will be you who will be ahead, not those who threw everything at you. And that is called leadership, self-responsibility, ability to stay focused, ability to inspire others. And the last aspect that we'll discuss today is going to be, we've discussed leadership. Leadership, the last aspect is one in which I'll really spend some time to discuss about. In our mind is a very complicated part of the body. And the brain is developed to do what is called risk avoidance. So anything that can be able to cause pain to the brain will stop it. The brain will not want to have that ability to strain itself. And that is why when you train your brain to remember a bad thing, it's easy to remember a bad thing than a good thing. Because it's easy. Anything that is easy. If you train yourself, if you sleep and get up at 7 a.m., the brain starts getting used to 7 a.m. And if you want to change your routine to start getting up at 5 a.m., the brain, you will not feel excited about it because the brain is not used to that. Are we together? Yes, sir. And therefore, if you train your brain to start saying that I am from a poor family, I don't have money, you always see yourself as a poor person because you train your brain to remember what you continuously tell yourself. If you tell yourself that yes, this is difficult, but I'll keep trying because I know that I am better, the brain will start to remember that you are better, and very soon you will start to excel in something that you thought was difficult because you've trained your brain to know that it can be able to do it. So how you train your brain, that is why in Africa and even in Cameroon, when something is asked of, somebody say, where has it been done? If you go home today, you learn about how to turn plastic into pavement tiles or into other alternatives. Somebody will say, where did you learn this? Are you sure that this is correct? Because they doubt themselves. And they've trained themselves to start doubting themselves. Once you doubt yourself, you give room to your brain to doubt yourself too. But when you don't doubt yourself, you give room to your brain to give you that confidence that yes, I can do it. And therefore, do not develop any negative attitude towards yourself, because then your brain will be reminding you about it. Develop positive attitude towards yourself, because then your brain will tell you positive things and you will be able to excel. Thank you very much. That was it for today. Yes, and be loud so that everybody can hear.
My name is Yaounde.
Right, Divine?
As you said, you gave an example on football
Correct.
players.
Yes.
I said when they insult you, can you not take the insult and try to like if you always
Yes, that's a very good point. And I think the point goes to, yeah, please, let's be silent. Yeah, I love to be part of the noise, but I like also to explain. I was once like you, so don't bother. When people are abusing you, they do so because they're behind you. And if you want to go ahead, you don't need to go backward. No one will be abusing you if you are behind them. So anytime you are abused and called names because you are doing something, it's because you are doing the right thing. And sometimes when you are doing the right thing, a lot of people want to discourage you. And if you engage in that altercation or insults, as you may call them, you will then be at the same level with that other person, because you guys now have resulted to not do anything that is aggressive, but to destroy one another. And so the best antidote to insult is to stay off insult. The best antidote to people who do not believe and want to distract and frustrate you is to do the right thing, because the best response to anything is results. Okay? Yes. Any other question? Your name, and I know that you work with the water bottle, the glass. Yes. Go ahead.
So you said that you can go and research on the internet how to transfer paper to pavement.
Yes.
But the internet nowadays is just line. So how do you know that it is really what you have to do?
So you said the internet nowadays is coming again at this point.
They don't really tell us that means they can see you test all those responses. You have to choose the one that, how do you know the one that you use?
So the truth is that the environmental solutions I'm talking about, they have actually carried them out. So if you say the internet, put my name and put plastic, put waste, you pick up what we are doing and you'll be able to learn from there. The second aspect that you're bringing up that is very important, which I did not touch, is the aspect of, and you brought up a very good point, is the aspect which I call false narratives. False narratives. There is a lot of fake news today, right? And lies that sometimes are told on things that do not work, that have never been tested, and have no potential to survive. And it therefore means that what you hear and what you see, you must do your due diligence. You must interrogate it to read and understand whether this is something that is workable or it is a scam. And so you cannot just hear everything and swallow. You must interrogate, and that interrogation process is actually what I call debunking false narratives. And if you develop the attitude to question, to ask questions, to find answers, you'll be able to overcome false narratives. And that is why your point is important. That in the internet today, there's good, the bad, and the ugly on the internet. And it is up to you to read and understand and not fall victim to those false narratives. But on the environmental solutions that I've mentioned, a lot of them are on the internet. And next time when I come there, we'll actually bring people whom we've trained across the country, and they're turning agricultural waste into fuel briquettes. They're turning waste into biogas that is replacing kerosene and actually helping mothers to cook using clean cooking. So next time I come back here, I'm going to come with a team to show you practically that these things are being done here in Yaounde, they're done in Galwa, Marwa, Ngandere, across the country. So that at least what we discussed today, you can start to see the practicality of it. So that was a very good question. Yes, please. Yes. What did you learn? I want your question. What's your name? Please introduce yourself. Ateba, yes. What did you learn? What did you hear today that you think that it has changed your life for good in a positive way? Self-discipline. Okay. So what did you learn about it?
I've learned that the first thing you have to do to advance life, you have to establish your own rules and politics.
To stay focused and avoid distraction. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, are you up for a question? Yes, go ahead. That is called being proactive. She stood up to ask the question. Even before she was called. And that before she asked that question, that is called taking initiative. Write that down. Taking initiative. What is the meaning of taking initiative? That even if you are not asked to do something, reach out and say, "Sir, madam, can I do it?" That takes you forward. Because then, not only you are not waiting for things to happen, you are actually in the process of getting things to happen. And that way you will be doing yourself. Yes, please go ahead. 7 to 11,400 calories. You know, charcoal actually produces what is called black carbon. And black carbon affects the respiratory system of people. So, indoor pollution using charcoal, you inhale and actually it causes illness in the lungs, in the respiratory tract. And as a result of that, it's costing the lives of so many people. In the entire African continent, 400,000 people die. In Cameroon, it's between 7 to 11,400 calories. Come again? Yeah, what I said is that regardless of which subject you are learning, whether it is physics, chemistry, mathematics, economics, geography, it doesn't really matter. You should be able to be willing to learn even sewing during holidays, because that's an extra skill that you will use one day. Don't worry, that's fine. I was once like you. Is to be willing to learn different things that you are not even taught in school that can help you do something different and make a difference in the community and in the lives of people. If you go and learn sewing today and start to learn design and start to see how do I design clothes using waste material, that is original. And tomorrow you will notice that you are getting into an area that was not necessarily taught only in school, but because we develop a passion into that. And it goes to the point I mentioned, learning and taking initiative to do something different and learn a skill is what makes you stand out. Is that clear? Once you learn those skills, by learning those skills, you are not giving up your education. But as you are doing your education, that skill can help you to put food on the table and money in your pocket. Imagine you are able to learn how to sew suits or make pies, and you have a job, and you still do that. Wouldn't you have double income? Excellent. Don't start from there. She brought up a very good point. She said, I think that would be the last point. She said, what if you don't have financial assistance? I know all of you are listening to this one. This is a very important point. Let me tell you.
She's so compassionate like that. That's the commercial student.
Excellent.
That's why her choice of patient too is
very important.
So hard.
No, it's intangible. So, let me tell you, you will never have enough money to do anything. Listen very carefully. You will never have enough money to do what you want to do. But you can only use what you have to get what you don't have. Let me repeat. You will never have what you want with what you don't have. You will only get what you don't have using what you have. And what you have is yourself. What you have is your skill. What you have is the value you can develop to be able to bring to the fore. It's what you can do to sell to exchange for money. At this particular point, it's a very important point that I would like you guys not only to keep it to yourself, but to take it out there and even tell your family members. What matters in the world today, there are two things. There's what is called assets, and there's what is called a liability. An asset appreciates. Anything that does not appreciate is not an asset, it's a liability. And when you take yourself If you want to become an asset, you must be able to offer what I call value. And what is value? What you can do, what you can bring to the table to solve a problem, to turn a challenge into an opportunity. And the starting point is you have to struggle and fail. You need to struggle. You don't have the money, but you still try to go see somebody and say, can you teach me? And I will use 2 months to work back for you. That would be, you teach me and I use 2 months to work back for free so that I get that skill. You use that skill now to go and develop something and take it to the market. That's how you survive. When you start off with money up front, you are a liability. When you start off with value up front, you are an asset. Become assets. Thank you.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, how can we manage a situation where you have an objective to attain and some people try to block your way?
Excellent. Good point. I think it's related to the question he asked that if people are abusing you, should you? That's what I said. The world in which we live in today is a world where when you do right, you will be insulted. People will try to block you. But you should never ever steer off, and that's why you need passion. Passion is that fuel that sustains you. It's like a car, right? Having a car without fuel in it, it cannot drive itself. So when you have passion and people try to pull you back, you move forward because you have that fuel. And remember, when you do right, people will fight you back. I've learned that in my entire career. People will fight you whether you like it or not. When you do right, you'll be fought fiercely. And at that particular point, it's where you need to showcase that you are made of steel. We are Cameroonians, right? We are made of steel, isn't it? People never Cameroonian. Isn't it so? Yes, and that is how you need to always know that when you are being fought back, being criticized, being pushed back, you are doing the right thing. And don't give up. Keep going. And that's why you need to develop the attitude of resilience, the attitude of endurance. And know that nothing is given on a platter of gold. Excellence is achieved through endurance, through dedication, and through focus. And don't think people will just come and say, oh, you are welcome and that you are doing well and things will go like that. People will fight you because they're not also doing well. So you need to be steady. And I'm giving you this from my own life experience. So you're lucky. If I had this advice before, I'll be much better than where I am today. So, yes, please. And please don't repeat any question that have already been answered so that we can save time. Yes, please, your name and then the audible. Yes.
My name is Amadou.
Yes, Amadou.
Please, you said that more than 70% of the Cameroonian population is using charcoal. And you said more than 7,000 persons die every year. Please, given that more than 50% of the Cameroonian population is not having the financial capabilities to use another way than charcoal, how can we resolve that problem?
I will start to answer that question by saying 50 other Cameroonians do have financial capability. Finances are not just liquid cash. When I grew up, my mother never had liquid cash, but we ate 3 square meals a day. She went to the farm, cultivated maize and vegetables, fed us with the best nutritious food. She never had money. Which then means that money cannot just be equated to liquid cash. It should be equated to what we can afford. If you have waste at your backyard, that waste is wealth. If you learn how to turn it, you will make money. So the point is that the reason why Cameroonians, 70% of them depend on charcoal is because there's no alternative to replace charcoal. Because why? We are not providing that alternative. And young people like you need to provide that alternative and you will tap into money. Our mothers will pay to get something that will not pollute and cause indoor pollution for them. And that charcoal can be replaced with briquettes that are made out of waste. It therefore means never start off by saying we don't have money. Start off by saying I can do this and this will bring me money. Because the money is out there. Money follows solutions. Money doesn't follow problems. Money follows value. So if you become valuable, you become a billionaire. And remember, each and every one of us have 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And so, if in a day we have 24 hours, and 60 seconds makes 1 minute, and 60 minutes makes 1 hour. So 60 times 60 is 3,600. If you multiply 3,600 by 24, what do you have? Please do the mathematics very quickly. Is it 84,000?
86,400.
How many?
86,400.
Excellent. Multiply that by 12. No, no,
186,800.
no, you multiply by 365. Multiply by 365. So 3,600 times 24 times 365. And so each and every one of us in a year have over 31 million seconds. And that 31 million seconds means that we can all become millionaires, because to become a millionaire is how you use your time. It's how you use your time. What makes a difference is how you use your time. If you want to become a billionaire, you have to use your time effectively, because at the end of the year, those who use their time judiciously will have something. Those who use their time blaming others and fighting and pulling others down will have nothing to show. So, become a millionaire by using your time well. Yes? Yes, please. Good. You got the answer? Yes, please. Please.
Pascal.
One of the
Yes.
yes.
Yes, go ahead.
You are using
Yes. 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 So what is the question?
So how can we get that? Because we have access to that technology.
You don't need to start without any technology. You need to start with what is available. And what you can do is to use a drum. You know a drum? An iron drum. You can actually use it. If you go to the internet, you look hard to make fuel briquettes locally. You get that little drum. You can get your neighbor and beg and say you want to experiment something. You can be able to burn waste, because making briquettes is very simple. You take like agricultural waste, corn cobs, right? You put inside and you make sure it burns without oxygen. Once it's burning without oxygen, it's called a process of decarbonization. And that is why briquettes will burn longer than wood, because wood will have carbon in it, oxygen in it. So when you use that and read about that, you can actually be able to start on that little technology that is less costly. And then when you get that skill, you can start to market those briquettes and buy the bigger machine. Let's never start from thinking big before we start small. Let's start small before we think big. Okay? Yes. Excellent. Good. The last question. I think I'll go this side. Yes, please. Yes. Yes. My name? How are you?
Please listen.
Yannick.
Not well.
Yeah, you say her name is Yannick. Correct. Very good question. Very good question. Brilliant question. All of you have asked brilliant questions. I must tell you, Mr. Combs are doing an amazing job. These amazing students here, I can tell you, there will be leaders tomorrow. There will be engineers, CEOs. I am almost and highly impressed with you are. The questions you are asking, honestly speaking, are even better than people even at master's level that ask sometimes that are inventing. So your brilliance and your eloquence in how you articulate issues makes me feel proud to have come here tonight. So you're doing a very good job. So clap for yourself. So the question is, what if you are going through an experience and you don't see the lesson? So every experience, an experience itself is a lesson you learn in the process. Let me say that again. An experience is a lesson you learn in a process, good or bad. And anything that you go through, you don't learn from it, you've wasted that opportunity. Good or bad. If today you fail a subject, you need to pull back and ask yourself what went wrong. You will notice that something went wrong. Either you didn't prepare, or either you prepared with wrong notes, or you read wrong notes, or you thought that questions were going to come and didn't come. You learn from it and say, I am going to be all around and read everything and prepare for everything. That's the lesson. And it means that when you face difficulties, which you will face difficulties, it's part of 99% of the time you will face difficulties, even from your own family members. You will face difficulties. You'll be rejected. Sometimes you come up with an idea and you think that even your best friend or your mom or dad will embrace it, they will reject it. What you need to do is to find an alternative means to convince them. And people are convinced with resolve, not with complaints. People are convinced with resolve, not with complaints. When you complain, you are a liability. When you bring resolve, you are an asset. And therefore, when you fail, learn and always fail forward. Failing forward means you pick the lessons and go ahead. You pick the lessons and go ahead. You pick the lessons and go ahead. And don't be afraid of failure. Let me tell you the last thing at the end. Thomas Edison. Yeah, put over your hand, please. Leave your head on him. Hello? How many of you have heard of the light bulb? This bulb that is shining. Okay. He is the one who invented the light bulb. You know how many times he fell?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
99 times.
yeah, it's almost there. You are conservative with it. You know it, but it's not just. I mean, yeah, but what's the figure? You almost got it. No, not yet. Not 3,000. Yeah, but all of you are right. But he fell 1,000 times. And when he was asked, why did you keep doing this? You fell the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, up to 1,000. You know his answer? I was gaining experience. When you fail and learn from the failure, it's experience. Because if you don't try, you will not fail. If you don't fail, you cannot learn. If you cannot learn, you cannot grow. If you cannot grow, you cannot progress. Okay? Thank you very much.
We have finally realized it. I am very convinced you have not wasted time to come here. I am very convinced we are going back home filled with a wealth of experience, because this conversation, this is an expert in what has been presented today. If you try to manage it, you will come up with more bigger results. He has said it all. Some of us are where we are today because we didn't have this opportunity to be advised, to be informed how we can better off our tomorrow. I am very, very sure that the students that I manage are not students that will take such an information in their ears. They will make use of it. We want to thank you very much, Doctor, for coming. Thank you. And we are hoping to see you again next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Pope. Please, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Pope. And thanks to the leadership of the school and to all the students and all of you. It was an honor, and please, I'll be back again. And as I said, when I started, I was once like you, so you can become anything. Thank you very much.
ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين للمتقين اماما ربنا اتم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا انك على كل شيء قدير اللهم ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه ولا تحرمنا عذاب النار اللهم انت ربي لا اله الا انت خلقتني وانا عبدك وعليك وصلاتك